Hey, are you one of those psychopaths that chases tornadoes in a van? Do you love the sound of a storm growing in the distance?
People are freaking out about this lightning. I don't see any lightning.
Good job.
Oh, shit.
Well, congratulations! You might be a storm sorcerer. But what is a storm sorcerer? Well, try to figure out the magic of a key, kite, and piece of string. Remember, the best way to hit a train with a bolt of lightning is with a good conductor, and make sure you understand the difference between AC and DC before it's too late. Within every culture, within every mythos, man has always needed a way of explaining things they can't understand. Like, why does the sun disappear each night? Or what happens to the stars when the day finally comes? What drains the oceans and then returns the tides? And what incredible force is behind this? The storm is the most obvious and visceral of the natural phenomenon, a violent, deafening display of nature's raw power, a combination of light, sound, and force that overwhelms the senses and terrifies the mind. It's horrific to see what a bad storm can do, but also endlessly fascinating to watch it happen, from a distance. But there's always been something magical about these events, something that ancient societies picked up on when they personified storms with the powerful gods like Thor and Zeus, and our world of Faerun is no different. The Storm Sorcerer traces their magical might to ancient storms of myth, magical entities like the Vati or Jinn from the elemental plane of air, or from an event known as the Great Rain, a storm that lasted a year and refilled a sea. Somehow. But you're more than just a bona fide magical taser. You're a conductor of chaotic destruction, a walking typhoon of torrential tempest, and a heinous heretic humbling heroes with a hurricane of havoc. Now isn't that enlightening? First, are you desperately waiting for the release of Elder Scrolls 6 and ready to relive that 2011 Skyrim wonkiness?
I'll carve you into pieces!
Well, if you need to quell that urge for epic adventure and incredible Norse mythos, look no further than the Lost Lands of Orfhal. Set in the world of Svilin, this adventure setting combines all the storytelling of ancient legends with the treacherous landscape of the Great White North. Brought to us by the minds behind Bloodpunk and Silverplate, this incredible series has everything you need to run an intense campaign and a Nordic trek. And with an all-new adventure at the heart of Frost, you can take your players from levels 3 to 12 in a winding epic tale of struggle and victory. All of this and more can be found over on the Kickstarter at the link below, and comes with 2 new classes, 40 new monsters, 30 new items, as well as so much more. So to make sure you get this incredible set as soon as you can hit the link in the description below. Just remember to tell them Yimba sent ya. A huge thanks to DRS for this amazing series and for sponsoring the show. And now, back to the video. So you want to shock your enemies both figuratively and literally. How would you get started? Well, the best way is probably as a sorcerer. Sorcerous magic comes from your innate connection to some magical force, and since ours is closely tied to the elements of... our magic hits hard, fast, and loud.
He gets 5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom!
But of course, to make this work, we're gonna need a little spellcasting. As a sorcerer, spells come naturally to us, so there's no need for silly things like books or practice. We're that kid in everyone's school that never studied and still somehow passed every test with an A+, and made the rest of the dorks want to pull their hair out. Which is extra frustrating for these plebes when they realize we also naturally understand 4 additional languages as a wind speaker, as our magical connection to the elemental plane of air lets us speak primordial and be understood by anyone who speaks Aquan, Auran, Ignan, or Terran. Sippy, breathy, spicy, and dirt. But did someone say annoyingly good at the arcane arts? Well, then it should be no surprise that our magic gets a little something extra by being blessed by the thunder gods themselves, giving us tempestuous magic. Now, anytime we cast a spell of 1st level or higher, we can spend our bonus action to fly up to 10 feet in any direction without provoking opportunity attacks. This makes for an excellent escape button if we get cornered by a melee fighter, but also a fun way to get into position and lay down a nasty series of stormy spells. 2nd level means font of magic, which means we pick up sorcery points that we can spend to create spell slots or burn spell slots to create points, but it's 3rd level where we can immediately do even more things, and meta magic is the sorcerer's bread and butter. But the sorcerer go-to options like Quicken Spell and Twin Spell are gonna pair great with your lightning-based attacks, and you can even grab cool stuff like Empowered Spell to up the voltage for extra damage, Subtle Spell to make your spell uncounterspellable, or Heightened Spell to make it even harder for your enemies to dodge your lightning. 5th level means magical guidance, just in case you find yourself in a jam and need to spend a sorcery point to re-roll an ability check, giving yourself a shock to the system. Y'all liking these lightning puns? Because they're not gonna stop. Because 6th level makes us the Heart of the Storm, and as much as I'd love to win the Heart of Storm, my pudgy frame doesn't appear to be what Roro is into. So instead we'll pick up resistance to lightning and thunder damage, as well as causing an explosion of damage around you whenever you cast a lightning or thunder based spell, dealing half your sorcerer level in that damage type. This can hit any creature of your choice within 10 feet, but essentially lets you nuke yourself every turn to keep laying down the lightning on every cast.
Shazam!
But as is the Sorcerer's Curse, a great spell list means less ability, so we won't get anything cool until level 14. But in the meantime, pick up great stuff like Shatter for a thunderous grenade, Lightning Bolt because duh, Storm Sphere because it's cool as hell, and Chain Lightning for insane damage output. And that's when we get to 14th level, where we'll be able to harness the Storm's Fury, letting us deliver a nasty shock to anyone stupid enough to hit us with a melee attack, which turns them into a conductor for serious lightning damage equal to our Sorcerer level. In addition, they also have to make a strength saving throw or be tossed like a rock 20 feet away in a straight line.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Which sends us right up to our last ability at level 18 with Wind Soul. This is an amazing buff, giving you an automatic flying speed of 60 feet so you never have to even touch those toesies back on the ground, immunity to lightning and thunder damage so you can literally ride the lightning, as well as the ability to gift your flying speed to the whole party. Oh my god. As an action, you can actually take 30 feet of your own flying speed to grant a 30-foot flying speed to a number of creatures equal to 3 plus your charisma modifier. So pretty much the whole party, plus friends and familiars and dogs and stuff. And you can keep this going for an hour. What an insane buff. Flying is already kinda broken in D&D, but being able to give everyone from the rogue to the barbarian a jetpack to crush bad guys while you hit them with max voltage? Holy shit, that's insanely fun. And I guess that's it. Besides Sorcerer's Restoration, which is barely worth your time, just spend the last 2 levels to multiclass into Tempest Cleric. Trust me. So does the Storm Sorcerer leave us in shock and awe? The Storm Sorcerer is so frickin' cool, and I love when a sorcerer leans into a very specific kind of magic. If you ever wanted to play as Storm from the X-Men, that one guy from Infamous, or any number of lightning-based superheroes, this subclass is for you. I love the flavor and the eventual fly speed, but the extra damage you get is also really solid, just depending on how close you want to be to baddies in a fight. My only complaint, and this is pretty small, is that I wish we had a few additional spells added to our list. Obviously, Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning are great, but amazing thematic spells like Control Weather and Storm of Vengeance should definitely be on our list. Are you telling me the Storm Sorcery doesn't have Storm of Vengeance? Feels like a hard miss, at least in my opinion. Otherwise, this subclass is so solid, and one of my favorite sorcerers. Leaning into a hard damage dealer is cool, and because those last 2 levels aren't really doing anything for you, jumping over to Tempest Cleric for that Channel Divinity that lets you do max damage on lightning and thunder based spells is stupid good. Just like, who did that? Look at this man's face. Look how sad he is. Don't you want to do that to your DM? So if you can tell your adoring fans to hold their applause because thunder claps for itself, you're both shockingly talented yet surprisingly grounded, and can't wait to watch goblins find out in real time what an arc flash feels like. Guess what? You might be a Storm Sorcerer. Hey guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna keep things short and sweet and just let you know how much I appreciate all your support, and if you want to hit this vid with a like or a share, it really helps out the channel. But if you really like what I do and want to support me a little bit more, you can hop over to the Patreon and become a patron just like these awesome people for just $1. With, of course, top-tiered patrons getting games DM'd by me. So to those awesome fellas, Spider Lover, Tedsy, King Osiris, Miles Not Yards, and Sora Sen, you all are the best, and I can't wait to play again. To the rest of you cool cats, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon.